A tragedy is not an accident or a famous death or even an infamous assassination. A tragedy is an occurrence when a person or a group of people or even a community of people fall from their potential and slip into irrelevance, shame, obscurity, or even oblivion. Something similar is happening to the state of Punjab. It is a bit of a savage irony that statistics that tell us the real story could never really convey the terminal decline facing Punjab. No one cared when Punjab fell from being the sixth most prosperous state in the country to a double-digit number currently. No one bothers that the GDP growth of Punjab is lower than the national average. But suddenly, a famous death in the name of Sidhu Moosewala has made people aware that Punjab has fallen off the cliff. It has brought home the shocking realization that a significant part of Punjab's youth have lost their way. Many are waking up to the fact that so many of Punjab's youth are hostages in the damning triangle of drugs, guns, and no jobs. It is a scenario straight out of the tough neighborhoods of Black America, where the young have no jobs and they have taken to drugs consumption, gang violence, and drugs peddling in a big way. The entire scenario is surreal, with violent rap music lyrics keeping pace with the altered lifestyle of the young. The same bitterness, the same violence and angst and alienation of the young is now rampant all over Punjab. It is not without reason that Sidhu Moosewala's cutting-edge, hard-hitting lyrics found so much traction with the young. I am arguing in this episode that guns, drugs, and MSP are the three big reasons for the vortex of hopelessness engulfing Punjab's young. The cynic will argue, is that all? Are there no other reasons? Are not bad politicians with no vision, no industrialization, stagnant agricultural returns also contributing factors to the decline? Indeed, they all play a role in the problem we are experiencing today. But we have to understand the genesis of the illness before we deal with the symptoms. According to me, the real problem in Punjab is its addiction to MSP, or minimum support price for wheat and paddy farming. I will expand on this a little bit more, but first let me take the occasion to welcome all viewers to the CAA Show. CAA, as all of you know, is Conversations and Analysis, and my name is Juggi Bhasin. To join our show, press the big red subscriber button on your screen. Subscription is of course completely free. In the 60s, when Norman Borlaug and Dr. M.S. Swaminathan ushered in the Green Revolution in India, did they at that time foresee that the Green Revolution would turn out to be both a blessing and a curse? Let me explain this statement. We all know the benefits of the Green Revolution, especially in Punjab, which became the granary of the country. We mistook the immediate prosperity and security that came from it by using these new wheat strains as a final chapter in agricultural innovation and advancement. With prosperity comes new challenges. The land holdings were small. The bounty of a good harvest was not enough for family sizes. And most important, no one felt the need to innovate agricultural practices, rationalize land holdings, develop new cash crops. The introduction of minimum support price, in a sense, became like a pension scheme for the rich farmer who felt there was no need to diversify and innovate his crop pattern. Thanks to the security of the MSP, farming patterns became ossified, non-innovative, and non-productive. As if that was not enough, no industrial corridors or belts were developed, jobs in urban centers dried up, and there was a mad rush of youngsters to get out of the country and emigrate. But that was easier said than done. Frustration began to set in the young, and without anyone to guide them, two major sociological changes took place in Punjab. In the 80s, Bhindranwale raised the issue of religious identity to channel the frustrations of the youth in a completely different direction. We all know what happened in the years of terror that plagued Punjab. When life returned to normal, the problems associated with agriculture and MSP had still not gone away. They, in fact, had only deepened and worsened. Once again, the youth of Punjab were led astray, this time by drugs consumption and the embrace of a gun culture. And once again, the politicians and the elders of the community led down the young by the example they set and continue to do so for the young. The elders started the Kisan agitation to defend status quo and breathe life into agricultural practices that had collapsed long back and have no life left in them. The politicians on their part, without a shred of responsibility, joined in that agitation with their retinues of AK-47 rifle-toting gunmen. No jobs, poor agricultural returns, a constant state of agitation, drugs consumption and peddling, and a morbid fascination with guns and rifles became the order of the day. Not even one politician stood up to stop all this or do something about this wave of nihilism and defeatism sweeping the state. Sidhu Moosewala was in that sense a chronicler of his times. That is why his assassination has struck a deep chord in the hearts of everyone who cares for Punjab. The gangs of Punjab in that sense are not really the problem. They are only the symptoms, the relics of a state and a generation that has lost its way. The problem are the elders and the rich farmers of the state who continue to defend the old ways, dragging the state and its people deeper and deeper in the abyss and beyond. And so, on this note, I come to the end of this episode of the CAA Show. I hope you really enjoyed this particular episode. If you like our show, do subscribe to us. And on this note, it's goodbye and cheers from my end.